This is Matt Belll, and you're listening to the Indy Sports Car Podcast.
Welcome, ICP fans, to another episode of the Indy Sports Car Podcast. Hey, Miss A.
Hello. And joining us tonight, coming from the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge, driver of the number 57 for Stevenson Motorsports in the Chevrolet Camaro GT4R, Matt Belll. Welcome back, Matt.
Hey, thanks for having me back on.
Sounds almost like we know what we're doing now, huh, Matt?
Almost.
It's good to have you back on, brother. It's been too long. It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, at least 2 years, man. At least, right? I think it's gotta be
a year, something like that. Yeah.
Right on. So, Stevenson, I guess racing. Had themselves a good week in Mosport. I saw. We all heard. So,
yeah.
Congratulations on the wins, the team and yourself personally.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was a pretty big deal. I mean, we both had late race failures the weekend before at Watkins Glen, so we lost a motor in the Camaro, and the Audi had a tire failure like 10 minutes from the end. Both of us were in contention for a podium finish, and wasn't in the cards. We kind of DFL. So pretty impressive that we then the following weekend we went from dead last to first in both cars. So yeah, we're pretty impressed with it, especially considering how off pace both cars have been recently.
Yeah, that's right, because they both won. The Audi won in the IMSA race, right? And you guys won in the Continental Tire race. That's right. That was a good weekend. Yeah, you guys were rocking this weekend. So, and it was at Mosport, of course. What how did you? Besides, I guess all the trouble you had over the weekend. Yeah, when you were out on the track, did you feel? Was it different during the race, or were you Where am I going with this question? I don't even know.
Basically, you've been used to driving an Audi, and now you're back in a Camaro. Like, what's the biggest change?
It's easier than I thought it was going to be. These new GT4 cars are somewhere between the GT3 cars and the more production-based GS cars that I used to race. So. It wasn't too bad. I was pretty used to driving the Audi. I still did drive it at Sebring and at Daytona. So transitioning back to a GS car or this kind of GT3 junior car, I guess is how you could look at it, was actually not too bad. It handles somewhere in between the GT3 car and the GS car. There's no more H-pattern shifter. It's all paddle shift. It has traction control now, like the GT3 cars have. So, no, it wasn't too bad, but it's certainly a lot of fun. It's been actually a pretty enjoyable season for me so far, getting to race the Audi in the two events that I didn't do with the Camaro earlier in the season.
So how did you guys fare in Daytona and Sebring?
I think we were fourth in Daytona, and I think we might have also been fourth or fifth in Sebring. I don't like short-term memory, I guess long-term memory loss. I'm like forgetting what we did then, but we I think it was a pretty impressive result for both. We made some mistakes in the race in Sebring that pushed us pretty far down the field. And Lawson drove like a maniac charge back through the field. And I think, like I said, if I recall, we actually finished reasonably well. Daytona, we had a perfect race. Nothing went wrong. Every stop was within a second of the stop ahead of it. Everything went perfectly. We were always driving within a tenth or two of each other, and that's what we had. We had fourth. We were just down on top speed with that car. So it didn't result in a podium or a win, which we would have obviously loved, but it did all right. Coda was the first run with the GT4 car, and we had some teething issues. The cars are intrinsically different between the ones that Lawson and Tony run in PWC compared. Because differences in the series and things like that, we were running into some gearbox temperature issues, some other things like that, and of course the engine issue at Watkins Glen. But that's why this program exists. That's why there's only 3 of these cars right now, because they're developing it. They're still learning what they need to fix.
When you say there's 3, do you guys like have a backup, or there's 3 that are racing right now?
It's just 3 that are racing. Okay. So yeah, there's Tony and Lawson in Pirelli World Challenge, and there's Robin and I sharing the car in Continental.
Oh, right on. Okay. So the one in the Pirelli has the audible flagging system in it. Right on. Have you heard of that? The audible flagging system there?
The auto flagging system.
Audible flagging system.
The audible flagging. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm glad we don't have any of that stuff.
No, don't say that.
I kind of miss like old-fashioned racing. To be honest, I miss the H pattern shift. You ask Andrew Davis what the thing he hated the most, I think, about the Z28s, and it was the shifter. We were just talking about. He didn't say he hated it. He probably wouldn't say that, but his one complaint that he brought up was the shifting, and meanwhile that was like the one thing that I missed about that car. I just miss actually having to drive, right? I mean, now it's super power assisted everything and traction control. They might as well just install cruise control and just have us resume every time it's a green flag and just let it do its own thing. But it's fun racing still, and it's close racing, but I miss the more involved race cars.
So what came down to the decision to because I guess you guys had a two car Audi team, right? In GTD, is that
we did.
Right? So, what was basically the main decision to go back to Conti with the Camaro?
I think we did well in Conti. The last time we ran a Camaro in Continental, we won 3 championships.
Yeah,
we would driver, the manufacturer, and the team championship with the Z28. And I think it's always been kind of a plan for Johnny and Susan to bring a GS team back, and it just made sense. Andrew and Lawson. Robin has a ton of GT experience, but he's also just super potent in a Camaro, especially a more production-based Camaro. I obviously have a lot of experience with the GS Camaros, so it made sense to put Robin and I together in the GS program, and then just have Lawson and Andrew run the single R8. Originally, we were talking about running basically 4 cars, having 2 GS, 2 GTs, and having all 4 of us just bounce back and forth. But it just doesn't make sense. If you really want to put your effort in the right place, you don't want to really stress a driver, stress a team running back and forth between programs.
That makes sense. I mean, like basically with this new Camaro, like I guess you guys had all the necessary tools that you need, that the team needs, or was it all just a whole new like set of tools that the team needs for this new Camaro? Is it like a whole new beast than the last generation Camaro?
It is. There's a lot more involved with the car. Pratt Miller and GM obviously took a lot of lessons that they learned in the Z28 and the S. Pratt Miller didn't build the SS, but GM was involved with that car, so they took some of those lessons and applied them to the new car. So while some things are familiar, this is a new Gen 6 car. It's quite a bit smaller, quite a bit lighter. It's a new direct injection power plant. It has an X-Track sequential gearbox. It has the same X-Track differential we had before, so that's something that's similar. But in the end, I mean, there's a lot more to learn about this new car than things that they're recalling from the Z28. The racing is similar, not the same, but yeah, I mean, it's always tasking on a team to develop's the wrong word, but it's always tasking on a team to campaign a new car, a car that's new to them. They're going to be learning a lot about the car. They're going to be running into issues. Simply how to work on the car is going to be different. Like I said, it's a whole new platform now, so there's definitely a pretty steep learning curve.
But is it still the hottest race car you've ever been in?
It's not as bad anymore. We run cool. Actually, so Coda we ran nothing. Helmet blower barely worked, if it worked at all. The drink bottle, I was trying not to drink much so that Robin could have it. We at Watkins Glen, I think we had a drink. No, the drink bottle didn't work, but we did have a helmet blower. And then at Mossport, we had we had a helmet blower and the cool suit, but no drink bottle. So we're sorting out the cooling, driver cooling, but we were actually much more comfortable. This car, because it's not quite as based on the production car, there's a little bit more room for them to place things in a better part of the car, so it's not heating up the cockpit as much. They don't have, as far as I can tell, they don't have the panel that can fall off and cook Andy Lally's foot anymore. So they like I said, they learned their lessons. The car's a little bit easier to drive, a little bit less hot inside.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, because I remember you telling us that it's like the hottest thing you've ever driven. Like it doesn't even matter if it's hot out because the amount of heat that the engine puts off, right?
Well, I mean, on paper, you would think this car would actually be hotter. It's the same. It's essentially an LS3 with direct injection bolted onto the heads. I mean, it's nothing really new, so fine. It's a little bit less displacement, like 800 cc less displacement. But it has a gearbox that's going to run hot. It has, like I said, I guess on paper, closed windows. I mean, it should be a more difficult car to drive, but it's actually not. It's actually quite a bit nicer. So we don't have air conditioning or anything like that. But I think they really learned their lesson as far as making sure the driver stays cool.
Right. So basically, so how is Coda? I mean, I've been protesting that IndyCar needs to go to Coda. I mean, everybody goes to Coda. It's just one of those, tracks that, I mean, even the WEC and F1 go to Coda. I mean, so it's, the track's become legendary at this point since they built it. I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago now. What's your impressions of Coda? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I mean, that first left-hander is pretty insane.
I personally like it. I was talking to even some of my teammates, and they really don't like it all that much. I kind of hate it, but I actually think it's kind of a fun place. It's got a little bit of everything. I don't know. I mean, the weather's awful because it's in Texas, but I mean everything else is actually pretty nice. I mean, it's also in the middle of nowhere, and it's like a desert. And but I guess I'm just describing most of Texas.
Pretty much.
Right. It's not like you're like, let's go to Texas to see the forest. I know they have some there, but that's not what you see in Texas. So, but I actually quite like the track. I think our car did exactly as well as we assumed it was going to do there. There's a really long straightaway. There's a couple reasonably long straightaways, and we are really down on top speed. We were, I think, 11 miles an hour down to the McLarens at Coda. We were, I think, 9 miles an hour down at Watkins Glen, and similar in Mossport. So we did. I mean, those McLarens, when they trim them out, I mean, they're just unbeatable. And to be honest, we assumed the series was going to do a BOP change. Some people from the series actually told us that their assumption is that they're doing a BOP change. But there's people in the series that just apparently still hate us and think we're the worst race team in the world, and that's just how it works. They're not gonna make a change. I've heard rumors that manufacturers don't want to make changes. I mean, that's what it is. You know, and it probably doesn't help that we won this race. But the unfortunate thing is a lot of people in power are able to make data fit their argument. And so even though the McLarens, even at Mosport, own almost all the sectors around a fast lap, they're probably still going to look at it and they're going to say, oh, well, Stevenson won, so they don't need a BOP change. But, you know, we're going to go other places where those McLarens are just going to run away from us.
So I'm guessing either the Rum Bum team changed cars or they're not there anymore because of everybody's focusing on you.
But you know what's interesting is Rum Bum. I've talked to some of those guys, and I won't put words in their mouth, but even those guys complain about the BOP stuff. I mean, still. So there's still a right way and a wrong way to build a multi-manufacturer sports car series like this. Honestly, I think the way FIA has been doing it with the GT3 cars, they make reactions really quickly. They know what they need to do to change to make the series much closer. And as a result, they're qualifying. You know, you've got like 12, 15 cars within a second in qualifying with a very diverse driver group. And that's cool. That's fun. And that's what you would assume a GT4. But right now in Continental, that's not what we have. The McLaren at Mosport was like a second faster than everyone else. It was like McLaren, you know, or at least two of the McLarens were up front. There was like a Cayman in there, and then we were down in fifth, and we were really impressed with fifth. And again, on paper, if you look at that, they're going to say, "Oh, look, Stevenson got fifth." Yes, but we were in a different class. We were a second off, and that's, you know, you could fit 10 cars in that gap back in the big class. So. We're not used to this kind of discrepancy between the cars, but you know, we're still hopeful they're going to make a change.
So, how did you like Watkins Glen with the new pavement there?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, you know, we've run there in the past. We were actually hoping for rain, to be honest. The track's not quite as diabolical as it was back with the old pavement, but it still is obviously a pretty slick place. And really, what we were hoping for was that you know, our car was going to do better in the rain than the rest of the cars. And in practice 3, I think modestly, I think I was 3 seconds faster than the next GS car when it started raining. And that's a testament to the Camaro. That thing is just a missile when it's slippery out. That long wheelbase. This new car is a bit lighter. It's a little bit different spring and bar package than the old car, so it's maybe not ideal for the rain, but it's still a very good car to have in the wet. And I think especially with some of these cars that are able to trim their aero out and knock out some pretty crazy top speeds. Obviously, it's not going to help them in the rain all that much. Rain's kind of the great equalizer, and so we were hoping for it in the race. IMSA, it sounds like I'm just whining about IMSA the whole time.
Oh, I could too, very easily.
I mean, the red flag was kind of questionable. I get it; it was for the Thunder Lightning stuff, but I mean, we were literally sitting on the front straight, and we had like blue skies for like 5 minutes, and you know, Mike Johnson and I were kind of joking back and forth and explaining why we were waiting, and you know, one of these rare thunderstorms when there's no clouds. So it was a little frustrating because we made the right tire choice. We were on rains. There was maybe a handful of cars that went on rains. We probably would have started really making some good moves. Of course, it wouldn't have helped anyway in the end, simply because we lost an engine.
Oh. Well, that's never good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much game over when that happens.
Yeah, and we had the rare nine cylinder. There was an extra hole.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I had a 3-cylinder the other day.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah. The other one just blew up the spark plug and the ignition coil. It sounded like I was like a steamboat. Like. So we got it.
Does Continental, do they run the boot at Watkins Glen?
Yeah, they run the big boy course. Those guys. I mean, Look, I work at Sonoma all the time, and we feel like we're being punished when we have to run the NASCAR course. Just why would you take all the cool stuff out of this racetrack? Like,
Well, you know why they
sorry.
do that? Because they can't run road courses.
No, I think they literally just can't count that high. Like like, there's 11. How many? Is that? I've only
4.
got
What?
10 things.
That reminds me of it was on Twitter. I forget who it was on Twitter, but there was somebody that was driving, was it Dale Earnhardt's car? And he went right, and they're like, "Oh, it wasn't a left turn."
Yeah, you're right. It's always astonishing when they get. I mean, the thing is, I've done a couple of those back when it was nationwide, the kind of whatever they are, Xfinity cars, and a couple races with them, and they're actually a lot of fun to drive on road courses. And I did Road America, and then I did Watkins Glen without the boot. And I mean, I feel like where with simulators and video games and this cool thing called the internet that we're using right now, you would think some of these NASCAR drivers, if asked, would want to start running these big boy road courses. And I'm surprised, and maybe there is pushback to do it, but it's a little surprising no one's doing it.
No crashes that way.
No crashes. You're right. What I mean, no one's spilling Budweiser when there's no crashes, and then they don't buy more Budweiser.
I mean, it might actually be exciting, and they can't sleep during it.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, I'm still, heated about the whole, what's his face, Regan Smith and Tagliani thing over at Mid Ohio 2 years ago, when he just booted him out of the way to take a win, and then celebrate like he just won the Indy 500, or I'm sorry, the Daytona 500. I should put in their terms, but I mean. I mean, they even make sure they crash. It's ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean, the trucks at Mossport, that's always a fun thing to either someone's getting slapped or there's some big crash at the start finish line right at the checker. I mean, it's exciting. So no, I mean, I'm surprised they don't do more road courses. I'd love to see them at Laguna. I'd love to see some NASCAR guys try to.
Oh my God.
Corkscrew, it'd probably be the most fun that you'd have to crash. You'd probably have people making it over the fence. So
they'd be crashing qualifying.
Absolutely,
it'd be a red flag qualifying.
Like NASCAR fans' dream, watching flying NASCARs.
You mean watching racers actually like show them what racecraft means? That'd be crazy. You're crazy talking about it. Crazy. I'm sorry, I can't stand sports. It's a joke. Sorry. That was my biggest problem with the whole merger, the whole merger, which was like the DPs, they were just backwards, the N-word cars, because, the engines in the back, they're on the opposite side, but that's the only thing that's different. And, the carbon fiber, I guess, shell was a little bit different, but it's just that's all it was,
Yeah, backwards NASCAR.
Exactly, backwards. Yeah. Well, we don't say that word really too much. We call it the N-word.
Yeah, we've cursed a lot on this podcast.
Yeah. You got to go explicit after this one. Excuse me. What made you get out of that sport and into a sports car there, Matt? Like, what was your driving force to do that?
To be honest, I kind of went the other way. I started, I didn't start with karts or anything like that. I actually started with club racing sports cars, basically.
Oh,
and so when there was an opportunity to do a NASCAR ride, I jumped at it. At the time, I don't think I'd ever watched like a green to checker race in NASCAR. I've never driven around oval, it was an opportunity I wanted to take. It looked like it was a lot of fun, so I definitely wanted to jump at it. I'm glad I did. I'd love to get back into it. Just haven't had much more of an opportunity to do it.
Okay. So as far as so what was the first actual race car you've ever driven in, like that you were like, hey, we're hiring you to drive this race car?
That would have been with Stevenson.
Wow.
They
Okay.
yeah they I started out with Turner Motorsport, and we did a lot of the stuff with in ST. So started out in ST, did one season of that, then one season of GS, and then that opportunity kind of dried up. And Stevenson Motorsport, I did a test with them out, I believe, at VIR in the rain with the Sunoco Camaro in 2009, and in 2010 they gave me the opportunity to run it in GS. So no, it was a fun deal, and the following year I was making a paycheck doing it. So kind of the dream situation. I didn't have to go run up through go-karts and all that other stuff. I wish I had, to be honest, but while I didn't start when I was 6 or 7 years old, I'm pretty lucky to have been able to jump into it and do that with a career.
I mean, that's every driver's dream, is to do it and make a living doing it, right?
Absolutely.
So, but you said something interesting there. You said you wish you had. What exactly is what you wish you had done with the whole carts thing? Like, what do you wish you would have gotten out of it? I guess is the best way I could phrase that question.
I think, you look at people that grow up skiing, you look at people growing up playing baseball, they have this just innate ability, and that kind of sculpts them as a person later in life. And so I'm missing out on a lot of that stuff. When you grow up battling it out on the racetrack, when you grow up knowing what an apex, a turn in, and track out is, I mean, obviously that's going to be a big advantage later in life. And I didn't have that. I have to kind of think myself through every corner. I have to think myself through every situation in traffic. Nothing's really instinctive. So I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I think I do it okay, but I think absolutely you look at some of my friends and colleagues, I think they definitely have a little bit of an advantage on me.
But don't you think you sort of have a little bit of advantage on them, to where you actually have to maybe like I don't want to say try harder, but pay attention more to what you're doing, to every turn at every track, and to where they kind of don't, and they kind of go through the motions, so to speak. Maybe you have an advantage that way.
Maybe I think maybe I have a different point of view on it. I definitely have more of a view from the fan side. I was a huge fan of racing and cars and going fast and driving things sideways before I got into racing, and I don't think a lot of people in the racing world do that. I think they may be fans as kids, or their parents are fans, and that pushes them in. So I think they're just viewing it from the other side of the fence, and it's a different viewpoint. I think maybe there's advantages to both sides, but if I had to do it again, I would definitely start with go-karts. I think any parents that want their kid to get into it, don't wait. Get them into a go-kart right away.
That's right. And then miles road to Indy, and then make them championships, and then IndyCar, and then boom, right? So, have you been paying attention to the IndyCar series this year at all? He's frozen. It's funny because we're on video, and he's got a big smile that's just stuck there. I see Missy laughing. Hopefully Matt's internet connection will come back. I hope. So I should take a big screenshot of that too. Yep. And yeah.
No, I think we just lost them.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll get him back though. So Missy, Matt Belll. I mean, he's one of our first, guys that we ever had on. It's a real shame that we lost those two interviews, but literally from the beginning. Yeah, he was the
first one. Yeah.
Yeah, literally from the beginning. That's
yeah. Congratulations to them this weekend. I mean, they had a big weekend. Him and Robin Liddell, they won their, like we said, the Continental Sports Car Championship this weekend at was it Moport?
Mossport, I call it.
Oh no, he told us. He said it's not called Mossport. So we hung out with the Canadian team this weekend.
That's right, we did. They were
Exclusive
all
auto
very
sport. So
Canadian. Yeah.
yes.
Very cool guys, though.
Yeah, so they were the winners this weekend at the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge. There you go. God, it needs a shorten like CTS. CTS. No,
Well,
it's
that's why
not.
most people just call it Conti.
CTS. Conti. Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyway, so Missy, do you have the finishing lineups for that race?
Oh yeah, I do. Like I said, Matt Bell and Robin Liddell, they finished first in their class. Then you had Dylan Machaverin, sounds good, and then his name is Dylan too. Dylan Mercott. They were in the Porsche Cayman GT4, and then in third place there was Jesse Lazar and Christopher Green, which were in the McLaren GT4. To round out their podium this weekend at Moport.
I always thought it was Mossport. Well, and then, but then I always thought it was like, and then, but its real name is the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, is what they go by now, is what they want to anyway. They're really pushing for that. So,
but their next race is coming up July 21st and 22nd. They will be at Lime Rock Park, as I believe IMSA will be there also. So that's their next race coming up.
Where again? I'm sorry.
Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. Good old Connecticut.
Oh, that's right. And that's this weekend coming up?
No, the 21st and 22nd. So like 2 weekends.
So not this weekend, but the following weekend.
Yeah, correct.
And then the following weekend is
No, weekend right after. No, that's the weekend right after this.
Mid Ohio?
Yeah, the end of July.
So what? It goes Toronto this upcoming weekend, and then Mid Ohio right after that. 3 weekends in a row. IndyCar?
Well, no. There's 2 weekends in between. Well, 2 weeks in between. This weekend is Toronto, and then July 29th and 30th is Mid Ohio.
Okay, but then you're saying Lime Rock is when? The same weekend?
No, the weekend before.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So we can make both races, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like we normally do. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Gravy. All right. Well, actually, Matt ran out of battery. His battery died. Yeah.
Matt, you gotta charge that thing, buddy.
That's what I'm asking. Are you? I am live texting Matt Bell right now.
Yes, I see that. So I'll just continue on. Just going over, like I said, IMSA was here this weekend also, so we'll get them out of the way. The winner for the prototype class was Eric Coran and Dane Cameron.
In a
Cadillac DPI.
No kidding.
And then in second, you had Steven Simpson and Misha Goinkberg in the Orca LMP2. Hey, JDC. Woo-hoo.
Right
and
on.
then in third, you had Ryan Dizelle and Scott Sharp in the Nissan DPI for Tequila. I know I said his name wrong. Sorry, Ryan. I don't know if he listens. I know I see him on Twitter all over the place.
Well, no, it's his brother.
Ryan DL.
I think it's his brother that listens.
Oh, is it?
Is it Ryan? I think it's Tony, maybe. Or it
But
could be Ryan.
Ryan.
I know.
Ryan DL.
I know there is a DL that listens to us.
Yeah.
So what's going on, DL? If you are
So-
related to him, then rock on. If not, hey, you have to listen to last name.
And I guess in case you were wondering, the Taylor brothers, they did not win this one. Why? Because, tell you why they didn't win this race. Because they felt the need to run into the number 4 Corvette and
Here
take
we
them
go.
out. That's why the Taylor brothers didn't win this weekend.
The need? They felt the need. Really?
Well, if they weren't so close,
The
they
Taylor
cut them
brothers
short,
says,
trying to get it
what we
from,
need
and then
to
just
do
cut right
is
over.
we need to cut right over and take that number 4 Corvette out because
I'm sure they did.
They're really, screwing with our race that category that we're not in.
And that's been happening a lot lately.
What? Different categories hitting each other?
Yeah.
That's
not even
new
not
at
even.
all.
I should say the prototypes, cutting in front of the other cars, GTLMs. It happens at 24 Hours of Le Mans.
I have noticed that
it's been happening quite a bit lately. But anyway. So and then your PC category winners again, James French and Pato Award. Woohoo! Congrats, guys.
They are
was that their
steamrolling it.
6 in a row? 6 in a row?
I lost track. I think so.
I think it's number 6 in a row. And then in second for the PC class was Ryan Lewis and Don Yount. And in third was James Vance and Garrett Grist. Oh, you recognize that name?
Garrett Grist. Yep. He used to be in Pro Mazda or Indy Lights or something like that.
Yes, was he Juncos? Did he race Juncos?
He looks like a hockey player.
No, I think he raced Juncos. But anyway, so and then your GTLM category, your winner in that category was Bill Oberlin and Alex Sims in the BMW M6 for Rahal or Team Rahal Letterman Lanigan, right? Is that still them? RLL?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then second was the other BMW, driven by John Edwards and Martin Tomczyk. Sounds good. And then in third was Richard Westbrook and Ryan Briscoe in their Ford GT.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the GTD category, your winners, as we stated, was Andrew Lewis and Lawson Aschenbach in the Stevenson Motorsports, the Audi R8 LMS. And in second, you had
Matt's team there.
Yep. And then in second, you had Andy Lally and Catherine Legg for Michael Shank Racing in the Acura NSX GT3. And then in third, Girl Power, some more. Catherine Legg. And then you had Christina Nielsen and Alessandro Balzan in the Ferrari 488 GT3.
Who?
For Scuderia. Nice try.
Oh.
Was your podium there?
I'll tell you what, the WeatherTech girls for IMSA, wow. They really went for a specific girl this year.
Okay.
I'm just saying because because on IMSA.com they're showing all the podium winners, and you'll see Matt Bell in the, as the first Conti first place, but the IMSA there they are, and there's all 2, 3, 4, and there's all.
Well, speaking of Matt, just throwing out there, you can find him on Twitter. He is at MBell Racing. There is another Matt Bell out there that has Matt Bell Racing already, but he is M Bell Racing. And let's see his.
I'm sorry. WeatherTech girls.
Okay.
The black one is freaking gorgeous.
Don't care. Anyway, his website is mbellracing.com, and again, his Twitter is mbell Racing. So go follow him on Twitter. Check out his webpage. And thanks for joining us, Matt, since we didn't get a chance to tell you that before your battery died. And that was your IMSA and Conti series from this weekend. Moving on up, where you want to go? You want to do F1 first and then?
Yeah.
So in Formula 1, it was the Austrian GP. Let me see if I can get this. Formula 1 Grosser Preis von Österreich 2017. Sounds about right. Or the Austrian
GP, right?
Or the Austria GP. There you go. So coming in first, you had Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel, and Daniel Ricciardo to round out your podium. Yeah, Daniel. And then you had Lewis Hamilton, followed by Kimi Räikkönen, Romain Grosjean, finishing 6th for Haas, Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon, Felipe Massa, and Lance Stroll to round your top 10. That's both Williams cars in the top 10, both points. Good for them. Then you had, and actually both Force Indias finished in points too. Then you had Julian Palmer, Stoffel Van Dorn, Nico Hulkenberg, Pascal Whelan, Marcus Ericsson, Daniel Kvyat, Carlos Sanz, Kevin Magnussen, Fernando Alonso, and Max Verstappen. Those last four were DNFs. Lap 1, I believe it was Daniel Kvyat, took out Alonso, who in turn took out Verstappen, all in lap 1. So, yeah. And then I guess pretty much the rest of the race wasn't really that eventful. I mean, there wasn't really anything. Not like, Baku. I mean.
It wasn't a Baku race, that's for sure, because.
Nope.
Perry
I mean, towards the end,
there.
I guess Vettel got close, but I mean, I don't think he needed another lap or two to, even attempt to pass Valtteri. I mean, he only won by, was that 0.658 seconds? So.
Yeah, but in F1, that is not close.
Well, I know. I'll give it the commentators. They tried. They're like, oh, this is gonna be a great finish, and I'm like, no, it's not. He's not gonna pass him. Like he needs he needs like maybe 2 or 3 more laps, I would say. But yeah. But I was interested because Daniel Ricciardo, this was his 5th podium in a row. So kudos to him. He's racking up those podium spots.
Who?
And it was.
Sorry.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Okay.
And Valtteri Bottas was the 2nd win of the year, so it's good for him. But yeah. Oh, and then the shoey, of course, I had to watch to see who was drinking out of Daniel Ricciardo's shoe. I have to watch it. It's like compulsion now. So I got to see who. He was more excited about his 3rd place podium than he was about his win last week, which I thought was a little weird, but okay. But yeah, he got. I don't know who it was. It wasn't anybody. It was the announcer. An announcer asked, because he's like, because he wanted his shoe for charity, he said. So he only took a sip out of the shoe. But the funny part was he tried to get Valtteri Bottas to drink out of the shoe. And Valtteri Bottas was like, bah, smacked the shoe and was like, yeah, get that out of my face. I'm not drinking out of your shoe.
I won the freaking race. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, no, I'm not drinking out your shoe.
I'm not his teammate, and I beat him. I don't want his shoe. I'll throw his shoe into the crowd. How about that?
Yeah, so he didn't drink out the shoe. Like, bad sport. Valtteri, you should have drank out the shoe. I mean, come on. If you're on the podium, well, I mean, I guess I say it's disgusting and nasty, a shoe filled, but whatever. But I'm like, if I was standing there on the podium and Daniel Ricciardo said, hey, Missy, why don't you drink out my shoe? I just got on the podium. I'd probably take a drink out of it and throw up afterwards. But hey, I would do that in private. But I would do it, yeah. But I would drink out of the shoe. I mean, come on. It's become a thing now. I mean, we've seen it at least the last 5th race in a row now. Speaking of 5th race, I mean, this is Max Verstappen's 5th do not finish out of the last 7. So I mean, he's having a rough season. I felt bad for him because they asked him, I guess, why they were interviewing him. And they're like, so have you been pretty much throwing the towel in on the championship, And I think he said, oh yeah, I threw the towel in last race. So. I'm like, that's just terrible. Like, he's just... I mean, this wasn't totally his fault. I mean, I think Alonso was the one that hit him, but it was because Daniel Kvyat hit Alonso, who in turn hit Verstappen on the first lap. And it was like, really? Like, wow. Once again. Daniel, once again, you're hitting people. But anyway, so that was pretty much your Formula One race. I mean, there was nothing...
The start was... pretty much the only exciting thing that happened, really.
Yeah, and they were looking at it because they thought Valtteri might have got too good of a start, but in the end they decided he didn't go early or anything, and it was a fair start. So there was that. So yeah, that was your Formula One race at Austria, and I believe their next race is it Silverstone?
I believe so. I do believe so. Because it's a big thing.
Yes, it is. The British Grand Prix, Silverstone. So that will be taking place this weekend.
I think if Hamilton wins that, what will that be? His fifth win there, I think?
No. Not sure. I'd like to see Daniel Ricciardo win it.
Right on. That really sucks that Matt Bell can't come back on, to be honest. Like, I keep looking at his little icon, see if he's going to go green. But I mean, I'm guessing no, he was on his laptop because this is the first time we actually ever. This is literally the first time in 100. Is it 39, 140? I don't know, shows. It's been a while, almost 3 years. Almost 3 years that we've ever done a show where we're looking at each other through video through what we record through, and it was kind of odd, but.
I can't say that I'm a fan of it. It's a little weird.
It is a little bit weird. Like I keep waving to you.
Yeah, stop waving to me. I'm about to turn you off.
Yeah, I'm about to turn you off too.
But yeah, that was your
Let's go back
Formula One race this weekend. And of course, in Iowa.
Iowa? We were there.
Yes, we were in Iowa. It was the Iowa Corn 300. Or the Mazda Iowa 100, or the Mazda Iowa 60. I don't know which series you were in, but in your USF races. 2000 race, yeah, they were good races. USF 2000 was the Mazda Iowa 60, and from pole to podium or pole to first place, never left anybody else pass him through this race was Oliver Askew. So congrats to him, first. Oval, first win. Then you're followed by Ryan VK, once more, staying with Oliver. Followed by Calvin Ming to round your podium. Then you had Alex Barron, Robert McGinnis, Kaylin Frederick, Lucas Cole, Ayla Agron, Devin Washik, Moises De La Vera, Corey Enders, Parker Thompson, and Deb Gore.
Parker
was your finishing order.
Good race.
Yeah, they were struggling on the oval, so. But congrats to Ollie. It's his first oval. It was Ryan's VK's first oval. Actually, I did an interview with Ryan's VK after the Iowa race, so we'll have to post that for you soon.
Or I can play it right now if you like.
Or you could do that. And it was nothing spectacular.
How long is it?
It was only a couple minutes. I don't think it wasn't very long.
Well, I mean, so it's more beneficial just to play it now because.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You
have Ollie, right? Though you interviewed Ollie.
Yeah, but that went right to. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, I didn't do any recording through my Sony. Everything I recorded was through the phone, and everything was posted. So if you want to hear any of our posted interviews with either Ed Jones or Oliver or Parker, you can check that out on. Wherever, Podbean, iTunes, or RedDragonsRadio.com, Stitcher Radio, it's all the good stuff's up there. But basically the only interview that we have...
Ollie is not on there, so you didn't post that.
Huh?
Ollie's not up, so you didn't post it.
So did we use my Sony, or... Oh, yeah, we did. That's right, because
I think you used your Sony, yeah.
I did.
I wasn't with you when you interviewed Ollie. I was interviewing Rhinus when you interviewed Ollie, so.
That's right. I'm sorry. Okay, and Missy, did you do the finishing line for the actual IndyCar race yet?
No, I just did USF 2000 so far.
Okay, continue on, because I just need to find the cord to the speaker for your... Sony.
Okay. So then we move on to the Mazda Iowa 100, which was the Indy Lights race. So their finishing order was, once again, finishing on top was Matthias Leist in first. Then you had Santi Urtia, followed by Dalton Klett around the podium. Then you had Colton Herta, Kyle Kaiser, Zachary Clement DeMello, Nico Jamin, Ryan Norman, Aaron Telitz, Juan Piedrahita, Neil Alberico, Nicholas DePero, Shelby Blackstock, and Garth Ricards was your finishing order for the Indy Lights race. Just throwing that out. Maybe I should go back. So, I just want to throw out the championship for the USF 2000. Right now, it's Ollie or Oliver Askew, sorry, Ollie as we like to call him, is still in first with 248 points.
I think everybody knows who we're talking about by now.
Yeah, I know. I would hope so. And then in second is Rhinus VK with 216 points, and then in third you have 159 points for Kaylin Frederick, and Parker is in fourth with 143 points in the championship standings for your USF 2000 series. So in your Indy Lights series, it's gotten a little tighter there. So of course, Kyle Kaiser is still in first with 216 points, followed by Mateus Lees with 204. Then you have Colton Herter with 180 points, followed by Nico Jamin with 173 points in fourth. Is your order for your Indy Lights. So then you had your IndyCar race, the Iowa Corn 300. Elio Castroneves is their winner here.
Spider-Man.
First win in 3 years, or I believe I know Chris DeHardy from Motorsports Tribune told us, I believe it's been 1,134 days, I believe he said, since Elio has won. So then you had followed by J.R. Hildebrand and then Ryan Hunter-Ray to round your podium. Then you had Will Power, followed by Graham Rahal, Joseph Newgarden, Simon Pagino, Scott Dixon, Tony Kanaan, James Hinchcliffe, Alexander Rossi, Ed Carpenter, Esteban Gutierrez, Max Chilton, Charlie Kimball, Takuma Sato, Marco Andretti, Ed Jones, Connor Daly, Carlos Munoz, and Mikel Aloshin was your finishing order for the Iowa Corn 300. That was Penske's first win at Iowa here, so a lot of firsts. Actually, Elio is the last Penske driver. All 4 Penske drivers have wins this year. So, but yeah, go Elio. He's been chomping at the bit for quite some time, and I guess the news that came out this weekend was, that he may be going to race Roger Penske's sports car, because I believe they're doing IMSA in the GTD class. I believe they're going to be doing an Acura. But drivers haven't been announced, but they will be joining the IMSA WeatherTech series, I'm pretty sure, in the GTD class for 2018, not this year, but 2018.
Yeah. I mean, are you... how do you feel about that? Could you care less, like me, or are you interested?
I mean, it's just another team. I mean, I mean, they're coming back, so I guess I'd like to see them back, but
okay.
Yeah, so but there was speculation this weekend about Elio was going to be driving for them, and Juan Pablo Montoya was going to be with the other one, because apparently they're going to have a 2-car effort. So, but no questions were allowed to be asked about that in the media center after the race. The only questions allowed to be asked was about Iowa itself.
Yeah, they're very...
That was announced. Yeah, that was announced before, so...
Yeah.
In the media center. But anyway.
I mean,
so yes, that was
there's really nothing on motorsport.com about it, so...
Yeah. So, anyway, that was your race in Iowa. There was a couple cautions. The first one was for Mikel Aloshin losing it and hitting the wall. Then you had Carlos Munoz, I believe, tagged the wall. And Connor Daly tagged the wall. So another becoming a seemingly every week performance at the bottom of the lineup for the AJ Foyt team.
Both AJ Foyt cars smacked the wall.
And of course, the red flag did come out for a little bit of rain, which was surprising because it was bright and sunny and then rain. So it was
like
weird.
What Matt was talking about
earlier. Yeah. So there was only 2 penalties thrown out at this race, but both of them were for pit safety infraction, which doesn't really go into detail what it was. And it was actually Elio Castroneves, and the other 19 is Ed Jones. Both were giving penalty was a warning, post-race penalty. So it was just a warning for those 2. So not sure. And I mean, if anybody, I noticed Ed Jones, they were talking about he broke his foot. That's why he was limping. And had
it was broken? Really?
Yeah, he broke his foot. I was probably from Texas, I assume then.
Oh, it was his left foot though, so he really doesn't really use it
Yeah, he
because
didn't really
it's
need
a
it.
hand clutch.
Right, but he didn't need it for the Iowa. But yeah, but he has a broken foot, so. Boy, but nobody mentions that, Nobody said a thing about that, so.
Yeah, but everybody,
Well, I thought I'd
goes
mention.
on about JR's hand, and then
Right.
New Garden shoulder, and everybody else. But there's that Jones out there with a broken freaking foot. I'm asking him like, why are you limping around? Because I was walking down pit lane, and I seen him sitting on the wall, and he was like, "Hey, Frank." I'm like, "Yeah, hey, Ed, what's up?" So I sat down and talked to him for a little bit, and then went and watched. I believe I got up to right when Will took off and did his pulse setting lap to knock. I believe it was Ed off. I think Ed Carpenter, right? Was 20? Was he 20? Right. I can never get those two right.
No, I think it was
Was it 20? Was it 20?
Well, 20 is Ed, but I think
Yeah, because
JR qualified second.
Oh,
JR
okay.
qualified second.
Right, okay, gotcha.
So he was on pole, yeah.
All right. Well, either way, it was a. I mean, I know it was a Carpenter, because me and the infamous Faux Willpower were standing right there, and kudos to the infamous Faux Willpower. He was doing Willpower's PR social media for the race. That was pretty cool. So he was like all smiles at the whole weekend that he was doing that, and that's pretty cool. So. I want to give a shout out to Foe for Haran Kuz for that, because that's really cool to get to do something like that. That's like living the dream almost. Especially
this was a pretty good race. I mean,
hey, I thought it was very I haven't watched it on TV other than like the big screen or in the media center here and there, but. I mean, I was basically outside, watching them come out, second and into third a lot, and kind of just listening to, IndyCar.com through my Verizon IndyCar app. So, at any rate, but yeah, just strange. Yeah, I mean, it was just, something was always going on. There was always passing going on. I mean. Watching an oval when it's that small, and you get the car, and you get a green flag for a long period of time, they start to just kind of like, you don't know really what you're looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but there's a lot of passing going on. Basically, turn 2, when me and you took that hot lap ride. In the whatever that Chevy is, right? That in between turn 1 and turn 2, there's a bump right in the middle lane or line. I mean, so you either need to go low or high to miss it, and that's what kind of took Mikkel out, right?
Yeah.
Remember, she went over it. Did you feel that?
It was. I felt a little bit. It wasn't anything.
Well,
I didn't feel anything.
Okay, but picture
extravagant.
We have a picture doing that at 80 miles per hour faster than what we did it.
Well, then I probably would have felt it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like that's what that's what I'm saying. Like it's still there. It exists. The drivers know it. I think it's really. I think it's a really cool part of the track. That's like. I guess they could resurface that part and get rid of that bump, but it's kind of almost like a characteristic almost,
Yeah. Well, I know they did throw out a stat that I guess 66% of crashes happen at that bump at turn 2.
Oh yeah, well that's because they're either in traffic and they get caught in that middle line and it's like, oh no, boom, ah, into the wall you go.
Yeah. But I guess after this race, the championship standings, you have Scott Dixon is still in first with 403 points. However, he has Penske's bearing down on him all the way through. So Elio is in second with 395 points. Then you have Simon Pagino with 372 points. Then you have Will Power with 350 points, and Joseph Newgarden with 347 points. It's your top 5 in point standing right now. So Scott, yeah, you got Penske's in your rearview mirror, all over. They're all over you.
We're all over you, Scott.
So then you have the next IndyCar race will be happening this weekend, a back-to-backer here, so which will be the Honda Indy Toronto, the streets of Toronto. So that starts, practice starts July 14th. Everything will be on live streaming on IndyCar.com on July 14th and 15th. July 14th, 10:40 a.m. is the first practice, followed by 2:15 that day. Practice 3 will be July 15th at 10 a.m. And again, it's all live streaming. Qualifications will be live streaming on July 15th at 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time. This is all Eastern Time. But that will be live streamed on IndyCar.com. It will be on TV on NBC Sports Network, but not until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you don't want to know qualifying, you probably should go social media dark until 6:30 p.m. when you watch qualifying on TV, or watch at 2:15 on live streaming. And then they have their final warm-up July 16th at 11:30 a.m. Of course, that's live streaming again. And then the race will happen on July 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC, or I should say CNBC. It has here. I guess there'll be an encore broadcast that will happen July 16th at 7 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. So they'll be airing it twice on Saturday, or on the 16th. What day? The Sunday?
Yes.
So that is this weekend. Toronto.
I mean, I wish it was a doubleheader again. I mean, I kind of like the
I do too. I like the doubleheader too.
But it kind of mirrors itself, really. I mean, I remember the one year it looked like the same freaking race. Will trying to make that move into either. I think the race 1 was Dixon and race 2 was Franchitti. But back, that was when they were both target cars. And he tried the same move on the inside of that that long straightaway into that uphill, really weird bender, and did the same thing. Crashed each time. I don't know why he thought it was going to work the second time. But anyway, can you help me with your recorder here? I don't know what folder you have the
should be folder 2. Yes, no.
I don't know. It sounds like DeHardy.
Oh yeah, that's how it starts out. Yeah, DeHardy asked the question. I hit the button early.
Oh, okay.
Start recording.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That was a huge huge help there, Miss.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I hear DeHardy. I'm like, that can't be it. That's not.
Yeah, it was. I start recording early, so he asked the question right before I got in there, and I just kept going with it. I'm like, eh.
Well, our lovable guy DeHardy,
Yep.
He really wants to be on the show as much as possible. He of course he moved, so we're really happy for him. But because he moved, he switched jobs, blah blah blah. So basically, when we record, which is normally every Tuesdays, he's always got a work to do. So who knows? Maybe we'll switch around recording days to Mondays and have DeHardy on. I don't know what's going to happen, but DeHardy really did make it sound like he wanted to be on this show, and he was pretty upset that he couldn't do it on Tuesdays. So I think he was throwing in subtle hints there to let us know that he could never do Tuesdays. So, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I cannot predict the future. So, but without further ado, I apologize if the volume's too high or too low. I'll try to adjust it. as it's going, but I think I'm in a good spot here, and
Yes.
that means
This is my recording or my interview with the second place finisher for USF 2000, Ryan SVK. He was great. Yeah, me not so much. So go ahead.
You're so hard on yourself. And we're really hoping to have him on the show very soon. So, without further ado.
If it was the USF 1000.
There you go.
How you were able to catch on to the later part of the race. Do you believe that had this race been 75 laps, you might have caught him?
I think 75 has been too short to catch him, but I think if it was the USF 1000 100, I think I would have had a shot to put some pressure on him.
Hi, Ryan. My name is Missy. I'm with the Indie Sports Car Podcast. So I just wanted to
Good job,
questions. Never spoke to you before, but we've been talking about you nonstop on our podcast because you just came out of nowhere. But this first oval?
Yeah, first oval ever.
So how did it feel on your first oval? Were you comfortable out there? Or?
Yeah, I was comfortable. The car was very good. Had some little moments because the tires got worse and worse. So. It was hard sometimes on when you were behind someone and the air was playing with you, and but I think we did the best job possible today.
Now, I mean, your season so far, did you have any expectations of being in the season when you came in the USA?
I didn't want to make expectations because it could only get worse or better. So. I just wanted to make progress every race, and I think we did it. So we started with some podiums, and then we got our first wins. And today we showed we had a very good speed, the whole team. So everyone in the team was quick too. So the team did a great job. And I think it's nice to show, to feel that I have the speed on ovals.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you did a fantastic job for your first oval, and like I said, like all year we've been following you, and you just seem to be getting better and better and better each race that goes by. Do you feel like you're getting better and better each race? Or?
Yeah, you get every race you get experience. You can train how much you want, but a race is a race, and you get more experience with it. And every race, I get some more knowledge about what to do and which moment, and I get stronger, get older, so I get smarter. So, yeah, I think it's getting better every race, and I think we can win more races this year.
Now, do you do any like iRacing or any simulation for the tracks that you have?
In the Netherlands, I go 2 times a week, so 10 hours a week. I go to one of the best simulators in Europe. It's it's 1 hour from where I live, 1.5 hours. So it's with a world champion of iRacing. He made a very good sim in F-16 fighter jet in a dome. So I train on that if I'm home. Otherwise, I just watch videos of races and just overtaking maneuvers. I watch that and just learn how to do it.
Yeah, that's great. Now, are you looking forward to Mid-Ohio? Because it's one of, awesome, races out there.
Yeah, first Toronto and then Mid-Ohio. It's going to be very cool. Mm-hmm. And, I've done that on a simulator. And I really liked it. I was quick there, so I think we can have a good shot.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me, and we hope to have you on our podcast in the near future.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your interview.
You're welcome.
Oh God! Oh, feedback galore! Ah! Okay, right on. Unplugged.
Jeez, oh.
Sorry. Well, it's not really my recorder, so, but it is the newer version of my recorder. The Sony, excuse me, the Sony recorder, I must say, is Missy. That sounded great. I mean, you did great. That was a great job. It was a great interview.
Yeah.
Can't wait to have him on the show so we can really, get to know him a little bit better and have the fans get to know him a little bit better, But, this little guy, he's got a good little mic on. I'll tell you what, the newer version of the recorder that I carry around that Missy got, was it this year? This your first year with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing blows mine out of the water. It's a great recorder. I just need to spend a little bit more time with it to learn how to use it. So you can go ahead and make fun of me now if you'd like, because I kind of screwed up with it the one time.
Well, anyway.
But we can.
We did have one more interview.
Yes, we did. And Missy, now, out of the whole weekend, okay, the races and who we talked to and everything, what was your probably favorite part of, the whole race week at Iowa? Because this is our third week there. We're getting very, we're pretty much, getting very comfortable with the track and everything there. So what was your favorite part of the entire weekend?
The air conditioning. I have to say, because it was hot. It was hot. No, my favorite part of the weekend. I did enjoy spending time with Ed Jones. Ed is a very, very nice guy. Very nice. So I enjoyed hanging out with him. And then of course I enjoyed hanging out with Parker because they put the USF 2000 on the opposite end of the paddock behind the ARCA cars, so you had to like walk around and over and through the woods to to USF 2000's paddock we went. So it was an adventure trying to get there, but
boy was it.
Yeah. What?
I said boy was it.
Yeah.
Trying to get there.
So and of course we hung out with the exclusive Autosport team there during the race. That was pretty cool too. So shout out to those guys, cool guys.
Which ones? I'm sorry. Who? Oh, Parker's team.
Yeah, the exclusive Autosport guys.
They
were cool to hang out with.
Are you talking about after the race?
No, during the race.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. No, I mean like.
Oh wait, was it during?
No. I'm talking.
No, it was after the race.
Yeah.
Before the IndyCar race, yeah.
Yeah, and they were all iRacers, and we were talking about that because I have a iRacing iRacing.com lanyard now. Misty.
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, Jared. That's right. Shout out to a great, an up-and-coming writer, Jared DePaul. And check him out. You'll find his articles. I believe. You'll see what IndyCar.com. I've seen him on. Seen him on Mazda Road to Indy.com, right? So you'll find his stuff here and there. Good stuff. Okay. My recorder here. I got mine here. So, the magic of radio, guys. Missy was, telling you how about Iowa. I'm sure she, her. So, what was your? I'll listen to it. I had to run out to my man where the recorder was.
Oh, I said my favorite part was the air conditioning because it was hot.
Oh God.
But then I went into, I hang out with Ed Jones for a little bit. Like I said, trying to find the USF 2000 paddock was an adventure.
That was ridiculous, is what it was. Like, good God, y'all. Like, could you put it, I don't know why they did that. What do you think?
Well, there was no room in the garages, so.
I mean,
I'm really going to put them.
I guess. I mean, and for some reason, every single year that we've been there, they've had ARCA there.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
And I have nothing against ARCA, don't get me wrong. But, didn't understand that. Yeah. I don't understand why the ARCA series is with, it travels with Indy there. I don't know. maybe it's a scheduling thing, you know. But literally, Missy, that series races at New Jersey Motorsport Park is what I'm trying to get at. See what I mean here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could tell you other series that race there too. You've never heard of them, so I won't go through it. But
Sounds good.
they're one. So I now if I'm pretty confident this would be our interview with Ollie, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So well, yeah. Let's just see how bad I can screw this up. We're here with the race winner, Oliver Askew from Pole to Podium. How's it feel?
Fantastic, really good, especially to bounce back from our unfortunate race at Road America. It's really good, so happy.
I mean, obviously, I mean, you know, it was almost like I think we said, yes, how's it feel to be human, you know, in last race. But I mean, here you came back. I think you're back to form, and you feel really confident going through it. You know, to I guess Toronto is next for you, so you feel really confident bringing the momentum from this to here, being your first oval and everything.
Yeah, this is exactly what we needed, just to get our confidence back, our mojo. You know, I feel great, like I did, you know, and you know, at the races at IMS and Barber. So yeah, going into Toronto, just gonna just do what we've always done. You know, just prepare as much as we can, and you know, I think the Cape guys have a really good car on the street races. Obviously, you know, we had a lot of success at Toronto. Sorry, not Toronto, St. Pete in the beginning of the year. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, and again, this is Oliver Askew, driver of the number 3 Cape Motorsport Soul Red livery. So definitely easy to spot out there when you're watching the USF 2000 race. So basically, you know, this was an oval. You know, basically through practice. I mean, you were struggling through the practices. You were struggling through qualifying, sort of, but you still made it on pole. How was that qualifying this morning? Like, and did you do any changes to the car from qualifying to now?
Yeah, we made a lot of changes last night. Thankfully, they were the right changes. I think the guys are good at making the right changes. So, yeah, I knew that if we could get pole, we'd have a really good shot at winning this thing because it's hard to pass. So, yeah, it was fantastic.
So, where do you see yourself come Toronto?
I see us in the front, to be honest. You know, I still just can't be complacent. Just keep working hard and keep our heads down. You know, make the right decisions and stay clean too. It's easy to have some accidents at that track. So I can't afford another bad results.
So when you were walking with Rob Howe on that Road American, you were like, Rob, it still hasn't hit me yet. If you were walking down back to anywhere with Rob, would you still say the same thing?
I think so. You know, I have one goal right now, and until I achieve that goal, then until I do that, then I don't think any of this is going to sink in. So
that's good. And like I said, don't let it sink in until November, right?
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's the best way to go about it.
Right. There's a long off season for me to let it sink in.
There you go. And a lot of times to come on our show and just talk about it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right on. So, Oliver, I just want to say on behalf of me and Missy and the Sports Car Podcast community and the MRTI community, great job. And good luck in Toronto.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say one last thing. Thanks to Mazda Motorsports and those guys for giving me the opportunity to be here. It's a great program that they have, letting young drivers give the opportunity to move up the ranks and towards IndyCar. So yeah, big hats off to them. So thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, and thanks to Mazda. That was Ollie Askew in the air-conditioned media center. Yep, after the race win. Yep. So there you go. And all of our other interviews are already posted. And we did through the awesome Podbean app. Through my awesome iPhone. So there you go. I guess if I had to say my favorite part of the whole weekend, if I had to pick one, would be so hard to pick it. I mean, you know what? Having lunch with a certain somebody who has been very kind to us since the beginning. That was you know, a really awesome time right there. You know, we got to talk to him for a good half hour, and you normally don't get to talk to him very often because he's so busy, right, Lizzie? So
Yeah.
that was fun. So, alrighty. And like I said, check out all of our interviews that we also did that is already posted. And there was 2 other great interviews that we also did with our awesome little Sony recorders, man. Personally, I'm jealous because yours sounds really good. Mine sounds I don't know. What do you think? Who sounds better?
Right. So I think that, like we said, the next race is Toronto. The only ladder series that will not be there is Pro Mazda. So Indy Lights and USF 2000 will be there. And
Bull crap.
let's see. I already went over the IndyCar schedule. So Indy Lights it's going to be a double header for them. Race 1 will happen. Let's see. Well, they have a practice on July 14th at 1:30 p.m. Everything for them will be streaming on live on IndyCar.com, all Eastern time. So again, July 14th at 1:30 will be their practice. Their qualification for race 1 will happen July 15th at 8:35 a.m. Race 1 will happen July 15th at 1 p.m. Their race 2 qualification for that race will be July 16th at 9 a.m. And race 2 will happen at 12:15 p.m. all Eastern time, all streaming on IndyCar.com. And then your USF 2000 will also be a doubleheader. They have a practice on July 14th, 8:35 a.m. Eastern time. Again, all live streaming on IndyCar.com. Race 1 qualification will happen July 14th at 12:55 p.m. Race 1 will happen at 12 p.m. Eastern time on July 15th.
Okay.
And race 2 qualification will happen July 15th for that at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And then race 2 will happen July 16th at 9:40 a.m. Again, all live streaming on IndyCar.com.
Right on. And again, I just want to give a shout out to Matt Belll. Thank you for coming on. And maybe we'll have him on next week to kind of, you know, continue the conversation. But you know, not for nothing, it sucks that his battery died and everything. But when it died, that picture of him on the video there, that was priceless. That was a great smile. I was like, yeah, like he was posing for his yearly hero card smile or something.
And again, you can find him on Twitter at MBell Racing. His website is also mbellracing.com. So give him a shout out, follow him. And I believe on that note, or you can find all our stuff at www.theindysportscarpodcast.com.
Yep.
And on that note, you
Missy,
know.
I just wanted to screw you up.
And on that note, you know that I know that Frank, yeah, you don't know. And, well, Matt Belll doesn't know now either. His battery died, you know?